Hey guys, this is Darkfayte here. Today it's going to be an anime review, and I'm going to be reviewing Outlaw Star. It is a space futuristic western kind of anime. It's very action-packed. There's a lot of comedy in it. There's romance, but I mean, there's definitely a very western feel, like cowboy kind of thing feel in this anime. It was released in June of 1998, and it is a competitor of Cowboy Bebop. Cowboy Bebop. Because Cowboy Bebop was released a few months earlier than Outlaw Star, and they both take place in space. There's a lot of gunplay in both of them, and they are both very good. I'll talk a little bit about the comparison of both of them in a little bit, but let's talk about Outlaw Star for right now. So Outlaw Star takes place in the future, in space. The main character is Gene Starwind and Jim Hawkins. They are odd job workers. They have their own business, and basically they're very poor, so they try to do whatever kind of jobs they can, and that's the opening to the story. Gene has always wanted to go to a place called the Galactic Ley Line, which was this rumored place that had immense treasure and like very valuable metals, including the most valuable of all, like the rarest Dragonite, which can be sold for millions of the currency in this anime. And that's kind of like his long dream that he has throughout this whole anime. But Gene and Jim are on a job, and they actually find this girl called Melfina, which is, well, she's this very mysterious girl, and they don't really understand because she acts so weird, and she seems like almost like a blank slate. She doesn't know anything really, and they take her in because they find her on the job, and it leads into this whole thing, and they find this ship, and it's the XGP-15A, I think it is, and it's like this really, really high-tech ship. It's like it's the fastest ship in the whole galaxy. It was constructed by these space pirates, and Gene and them happen to find it, and they hijack it basically, and they take it as their own. They soup it up, and they change the color. It was originally green, they changed it to red. They give it battle arms, which I'll talk about in a little bit. And they name it the Outlaw Star, hence the name of the anime. But that's kind of like a very vague synopsis of it. I don't want to give away too much stuff because a lot of stuff happens in the first few episodes that you'll learn. I don't want to ruin it for you. So, but overall the story is really good. I mean, it's one of my favorite anime, and a good thing about the story is that one thing about anime is that a lot of anime alienates itself in that it won't be viewable, like it won't be comprehensible to people who don't normally watch anime. And Outlaw Star has a very comprehensible story that anybody could walk into and for the most part understand what's going on, and that's a very rare thing in anime. So with the story is very good. So let's move on to the soundtrack. This has a very good soundtrack. A lot of like rock kind of things, like very fast-paced stuff. I mean, even the opener, what is it called? Through the Night, I think. It's very, like, this is up in your face, and it's a very great opening to the series, and it really gets you pumped up to watch each episode. And then the ending songs, they're very good. They're very slow. They're kind of like alter egos, basically, the ending and the opening, and they're just very good throughout the whole show. They have a lot of piano kind of stuff. They have a very wide range in this anime, and it really fits each tone that it's been played in. And they just did a really good job on the soundtrack. So soundtrack is a good is a good soundtrack. Let's move on to the animation. This show has extremely good animation. Now, when you're looking at it, you might disagree with me, like if it's your first time looking at it, because some of the colors and stuff in this haven't aged very well. But they were good at the time. But I mean, they haven't aged very well. Something comparing it to Cowboy Bebop. But the animation and the art style for this show is amazing. Also, the animation, especially in the fight scenes, it isn't like punch and the stop motion. It shows like the punch hitting them, and it doesn't like go through like the whole motion of it. In this, they show everything. Everything is animated. So when Gene is like running and shooting at the same time, it isn't like running then cut into a gun and then shoot. It's like him running, bam, 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 bam. I mean, it's extremely sharp. It isn't choppy at all. It's one of the most fluid fight scenes I've seen in older anime. I mean, newer anime it's a little bit easier because of technology. But I mean, this is just really, really good. I wish I could show you this clip. I think it's in episode 10 or so, 10 or 12, or like 8 through 10 or something like that. And he's fighting this guy in this kind of junkyard kind of thing, and Gene has all these weapons under his cloak, and he's just like pulling them up and shooting out all these missiles, and I mean, it's just an amazing scene. And there's this, and near the end of the scene, Gene shoots him, and you see all these crows fly out in front of the screen in fast motion. I mean, it's just a really great series, and they did a really amazing job on the animation for this show. And I think it's hand in hand with Cowboy Bebop. Cowboy Bebop is known for having those fight scenes where it's no stop motion kind of thing. It's bam, it's there, you see it, everything happening at once. However, I do think that Outlaw Star has a little bit more of a realism to it, whereas in Cowboy Bebop, Spike can be getting blown up and getting smacked around, beat the crap out of him, and he'll just get right back up. Whereas in Outlaw Star, I mean, it's very realistic. If you get shot, you are hurting. I mean, Gene gets shot a couple times in the show, and he's down. I mean, it isn't like get shot, get back up, shoot everybody in the room. And another thing is that it isn't like Gene up against 50 guys and not getting shot at all. I mean, it's more of standoffs like in westerns, like cowboys, and they do an exceptional job on it. Also, there's the whole space combat. A lot of the ships in space, they have these things called grappler arms, and they were originally used or are used for like just maintenance and different bases and stuff like that. It has to do with things outside that they can't go outside and just fix themselves, so they use the ship's arms. But pirates adapted it into fighting mechanics, and Gene and them, they mod the Outlaw Star so it has these things, and it can wield like blades and guns and all that stuff. And the ships can clash, and like they'll grab arms and stuff like that. I mean, it's just really, really good. There's also a lot of chase scenes in the ships, and there's a whole episode on a race when it's racing, and they show all of that. I mean, it just looks really, really good. That's really all I have to say about animation. The animation is some of the best in action, I have to say myself. It's just really good. The enjoyability of this anime, like I said in the beginning, since a lot of anime is kind of hard to understand for people that don't usually watch it, and it alienates itself from the larger public, this show does a really good job at showing a story that is comprehensible but is still very deep, and it will keep your emotions going. Like, there is some really sad parts in this show, especially near the end of the show with Jim Hawking and a girl he falls in